Greg, I remember yesterday I was in Fort Worth and in Dallas on basically heavily traveled roadways. It wasn't too bad, but I know today things are going to look a lot different.
Yeah, I think it is going to look a lot different today and tomorrow. In fact, I think the roads, some of those main roads are going to get a lot worse. So let's kind of walk you through what to expect, and then we'll get to radar here in just a moment. But here's what we can expect heading out this morning and as we go through the day. Not a whole lot out there right now, but it's going to pick up freezing rain and sleet. It's going to be likely after sunrise today, and some bands of some heavier sleet. So maybe that thunder sleet we're going to be dealing with once again. The road conditions will worsen, and you see we're going to have that glaze to maybe upwards of 1/4 of an inch possible. So we're not just talking about bridges and overpasses, I don't think, for today. Some of those main roads, the driving is going to get potentially treacherous for us today. That's going to be the case tonight. The freezing rain, sleet continues. Icy travel is going to be likely. Temperatures, they're going to stay below freezing, so we're not going to get above freezing for today. So don't look for anything in the way of melting taking place. So we're still going to have that frozen precip, and maybe even more so tomorrow with that freezing rain. Temperatures may warm slightly, but we are going to be looking at widespread freezing rain, especially during the morning hours. I think that will continue even as we get into the afternoon. So the icy roads will continue across the area with additional accumulation. So we're going to be below freezing for most of the day tomorrow. It won't be until Wednesday evening, heading into Wednesday night, when those temperatures start to warm back below freezing, and we'll get that transition eventually over to all rain, maybe heading on into Wednesday morning. So here's what it looks like on radar for us right now. Again, not a whole lot showing up. So it has been in the form of that drizzle, that freezing drizzle that we've been talking about overnight. But as we zoom out a little bit, we'll have the next wave of the heavier precip developing across the area again after sunrise today. And as we go through the morning rush, so there will be an uptick, and the radar will become a lot more active for us a little bit later on this morning. Now, in the meantime, the temperatures, that's going to be the other story for us. Fair Park 24 right now, feeling like it's 15. So it is frigid out there with those north winds. We're still going to have those in that 15, 20 mile per hour range. Low mid 20s. Greenville at 25, 26 heading out to Terrell. Mid 20s heading over to Granbury right now at 25. So temperatures won't warm a whole lot. Again, not likely getting out of the 20s in most areas as we go through the day. So here's our timecast as we've been talking about that uptick in the precip as we go through the morning rush. This is around 9 a.m. So look how widespread that wintry mix, that freezing rain and sleet becomes across the area. That continues through about midday. Again, there will be some bands a little bit later this morning of that heavier sleet mixed in. That continues into the afternoon. Starting to show some signs, though, of maybe tapering off just a little bit as we head toward the afternoon on into the evening. I do think that will be the case as we head toward 7 p.m. So there may be a little bit of a lull in the activity until we head toward tomorrow morning. So the temperatures are going to stay below freezing once again. We will have those the widespread freezing rain for most of the day tomorrow, and it won't be until later in the day on Wednesday before we get that transition over to all rain, I think, as we head toward Thursday morning. So we're going to have another day of rough conditions out there, I think, as we head on into Wednesday. So here's what it looks like as far as our timecast is concerned. There's the winter storm warning. Here's the day planner for us as we go through the day. The widespread freezing rain and sleet increasing as we go through the day, tapering off some this afternoon. But look at those temperatures. We're going to stay in the upper 20s as we go throughout the day.